Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. If you like butterflies, then this project is going to be for you. Using lots of Anna Griffin goodies to create a card that will simply knock your butterfly socks off. Because I think, especially the inside of this card, I think this is going to be a beauty. And you might even want to try the effect that we use for the inside. Everything I do use I shall put in a detailed list on my blog. So if I forget to mention something or you wonder what something is, please refer back to my blog and then you can see what I've used. If you've ever got any questions or if you've got any comments, please feel free to comment on Facebook on my blog. I can reply to you there, but I can't reply to you on YouTube. Plus previous questions that people have asked, I can't reply to on YouTube. So if you've asked a question previously, i.e. what kind of glue do I use, glossy accents or tape runners, either just a general tape runner or Anna's tape runners, etc., please ask again because I just can't reply to you. Okay, so let's craft. So first thing we need is our card base, and I'm using my favourite size 7x5, and I've got a little bit of a confession to make. This is our white card base, and as I was preparing for this project, I cut out our first layer and I got carried away and I added it. And I know you're thinking, oh, that's not a neat layer, Anne-Marie, what's going on? Well, we're only going to see the actual, just the edge of it. So I've taken the centre away, and as I was taking the centre away, you see I've used a bit of it for a die cut on a previous project, and I've cut the rest away, and I just got carried away and I stuck it down, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to carry on and run with this, because it doesn't matter that it's already stuck down, it doesn't matter that it's got a big aperture in, because we're not going to see this section. So don't forget, you know, if you've got some scraps that you think, I could use that as a background, I could make an embellishment out of that, then do so. Because, you know, we've all got big scrap boxes and we need to use our scrap. Now, the inside of this card is, I've actually gone ahead and done it. And it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. I've taken a piece of ivory cardstock, even though we're using a white card. I've taken ivory cardstock and I've simply stamped two butterflies at the bottom, and I'm going to bring it up real close so you can see the detail. The two butterflies are from Anna's Easter and Love stamp set. I've stamped them in white embossing powder, white ink, sorry, and then I've heat embossed them with white embossing powder. So the heat embossing will only go where the ink is. So then you're left with sections that aren't stamped to heat embossed. So I've just used ink with a water brush pen and filled those in. And then I've done exactly the same for the sentiment. This was from Anna's 22 birthday clear stamps. And I've stamped it in white. I've heat embossed it with white embossing powder. And then I've just coloured it with ink. And then I've taken a different ink colour, around the edge of the actual layer. Just to give it a little bit more colour. And then that'll tone in with the front. So it's a really simple technique to stamp and emboss using white. It's one of my new favourite techniques. You might have, well, you might see it on some projects in the future on a Saturday instead. But it just highlights it and makes it stand out so well. Plus, for anyone, you know, if you're stuck of what to do, give it a go. Anna's stamps just work so well with white. You might be surprised. Give it a go and try it. So I've got flat glue, tape on the back of our insert. So I'm just adding that to the inside of our card. There's enough room for your messages, your to and from, and the little, you know, have a great day, blah, blah, blah. So that is a really nice insert and very different. So even though I've made a boob and I've, you know, got the front on here, then I'm still using my bone folder to make sure I've got a nice sharp crease along the edge. So imagine this, I've cut a layer, I've put it on, and that is our first layer. This is Anna's metallic card, and it just works so perfectly. And I've added that as our first layer. Our next layer is from Anna's foil layers, and this is such a pretty colour, and all I've got is flat tape on the back of this that I can peel the back away like so, and then I can work out if I've got it the right way around. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way for this. And then I can position this onto the front of our card, over our boo-boo, and that covers it up like so. And now you would never know I made a boo-boo. And it just, you know, makes a gorgeous matten layer. Next, Anna's Acetate all occasion cards are just so pretty. They really are. And I know we did a project a couple of weeks ago with the acetate, and I looked at them and I thought, you know, we've got to do another acetate project because they're just so pretty. So I've taken one of the acetate cards and I've cut it down to fit through the centre of our card. So it's nearly a square, nearly 5 by 5 inches in size. I think it just works out a little bit smaller. I've got tape on the back of it behind the coloured sections, and I'm going to add this to our card. I'm going to try and get it roughly in the centre and hold it down like that. There we go. And press it down so it sticks nicely. And then to match the acetate cards, the Vintage Garden die cuts I've made to work with the acetate, so they coordinate. So you can either build decoupage up with them or use them, you know, with the acetate patterns. So what I've done is I've taken the red rose from the vintage die cuts, and I've got a little bit of flat tape on it, and I'm simply going to add it to the front of our card just on an angle over the acetate like so. Now I know it goes off the edge, so at this point I'm going to trim it away, which is fine because, like I've said, once you purchase those things, they're yours. So you don't always have to use them as is. So that's kind of like, we're getting there with this. We're just lacking a few things. So what could we lack? Butterflies. So I've taken 2 of the gold butterflies from the All About Birds and Butterfly kit from Anna. And these are full of die cuts. Nothing but die cuts in this kit. And I've added 3D foam on the back of the butterflies, and I'm simply going to add them in the 2 corners like that. And then I've also taken a sentiment from the All About Birds and Butterfly kit, and this says birthday wishes. So I'm just going to add that just to one side of our roses. And then I've got a little red bow, the same colour as our roses to finish it off on our card. So I can add that underneath our sentiments. And that is our card finished. Something a little bit different with our butterflies and the acetate. And I think it just works so well with everything going together. I thought that looked a little bit odd. My little foam pad had just stuck the tail down. And let's try that again, Anne-Marie. There we go. That's better. There. Just looked... I thought, I'm sure I didn't set that out like that. See, perfectionist. And now one of my dots has disappeared. So we better use a different one. And take the back of it away. So you see, I'm not as perfect as you think. And now we're done. There. That's better. And it's just such a pretty card. I love the gold and the highlights of the gold from the foil layer that matches the butterfly and the acetate, and our butterflies in the centre. Stands up nicely. Little bit different. Again, a definite mantelpiece pleaser, I think that. Very pretty colours. Please share if you've enjoyed this project. You know, if you've got anything to say, please feel free, because I do love hearing from you. And I do appreciate you watching and getting in touch. And, you know how many people watch my videos and they wait for me to release them. It's unbelievable, really, to think that you all enjoy them so much, because I enjoy creating them. So it's just fun to me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this project, and I shall see you next time.